Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today with a heavy heart to honor the life and legacy of a great man, a political icon, and a friend and mentor to many, Congressman John LaFalce. John Joseph LaFalce was born October 6, 1939, and passed away on April 11, 2025. He was laid to rest earlier this week. While we mourn the loss of this extraordinary leader, we also celebrate the incredible contributions he made, not just to Western New York, but to New York State and our entire nation. The son of a union steward and bakery worker, John never forgot where he came from. His upbringing shaped his politics. He knew what it meant to struggle. His empathy and faith drove his mission in elected office. John lived his faith by fighting for labor rights, defending the vulnerable, and standing up for the voiceless. It was the moral compass that guided every vote, every word, and every fight. He knew that serving in Congress was a sacred calling, and he fulfilled it with grace, conviction, and compassion. Before entering public life, he served our country as a captain in the United States Army. Upon his return from the military, his continued commitment to service drove him toward government, serving in both the New York State Assembly and Senate. Then in 1974, representing Western New York in this chamber for 3 decades. John came to Washington in the aftermath of Watergate, part of the new wave of lawmakers determined to restore integrity and rebuild the public's trust in our government. Congressman LaFalce spent nearly 30 years shaping national economic policy, leading the House Small Business Committee, and serving as the top Democrat on the Banking Committee. He built a reputation as a thoughtful, deliberative, and independent voice. He was a leader, not beholden to politics, but to the truth, and above all, to the people he served in Western New York. On the Financial Services Committee, John emerged as an early and steadfast voice against the predatory practices of payday lenders and subprime scams that trapped working families in endless debt. He fought to strengthen consumer protections for women by introducing and passing legislation that created opportunities and resources for female entrepreneurs, opening doors that had long been shut. But perhaps nothing exemplifies Congressman John LaFalce's leadership more than his fearless fight for our community following the Love Canal disaster. At a time when so many were reluctant to confront the truth, he stood firmly with the people of Niagara Falls, ensuring that they would not be ignored or left behind. He put on boots, walked into basements flooded with toxic sludge, and stood with families in their hour of need and demanded more from our government. John directed the eyes of the world onto Western New York and forced the nation to reckon with the dangers of industrial pollution. He pushed for federal recognition of this crisis and secured an emergency declaration, ultimately creating the Superfund program. His efforts helped bring justice and relief to families facing an unthinkable public health catastrophe and environmental calamity. John LaFalce was not afraid to take a lonely stand when his conscience demanded it. He voted against authorizing the war in Iraq, not once, but twice. He challenged legislation he felt went too far, even if it came at a political cost. He never stopped thinking independently, and he never stopped thinking about what was right for Western New York. But beneath his tough exterior in Washington was a profoundly loving and gracious soul who treated everyone like family. To him, nothing was more important than family. At his funeral service this past Monday, John's beloved son Martin told the story of a devoted father with a tender heart and a love for the joys of life. Congressman LaFalce leaves behind a legacy of service, of decency, and of standing up always for Western New York. I'm personally grateful to Congressman LaFalce for the guidance and wisdom that he provided me. It's made me a better representative for our community. To his wife, Patricia, his son, Martin, and all of his loved ones, I offer you my prayers and deepest condolences. May Congressman John LaFalce rest in peace and power.